Hey, what's happening? Welcome back to another video, and in this one, we're going to talk about one mixing technique that you can use to give your songs a lot more character. And a common problem that I hear so much is that a lot of music lacks emotion. And what I mean by emotion is that there's not a lot of feel to it. There's not a lot of human characteristics. So I'm going to show you one way that you can easily do that for your songs. But before I begin, I just want to say that you can download this project file along with the samples and presets at my website, theklingmusic.com. So guys, check that out and let's get into the video. All right, guys, let's dive into the project here. And before we begin, let's take a listen to what we are working with. Now, going into this video, what we're going to talk about is volume automation on your sounds to give them more dynamics. And you might ask, why would I ever need dynamics, especially in this kind of song? Well, in my opinion, having dynamics is a lot more pleasing to your ear. Just imagine if you played a guitar and everything's the same volume, it just wouldn't sound, there's no energy in there. There's nothing for you to actually feel. Just like when you use pianos, when you have a piano and you don't adjust the velocity and it sounds like it's computerized, it's just not pleasing to the ear. So what you do is, in this case at least, I automated the volume of the lead. And I did do the lead here, but you don't have to do it on the lead. Like, for example, if I have like a huge club song or something like that, you might not want to do this on your lead, but you might want to do it on other elements. And don't just do it on the drop either. Do it on the breaks and your drums or anything that you want. But if I show you this with and without, you are going to hear a night and day difference, especially in the mix as well. So let's do it solo, then we can go through the mix. So for example here, let's focus on this phrase right here. And if we see the automation, you can see that it goes down, comes up for like a second, then comes back down, then comes up on this note right here. We want to put excitement on certain notes. It's like you're having a conversation. If I were to talk with the same volume, and nothing else changed, it'd be so boring. Wouldn't be worth listening to. Well, maybe. But no, just think about it. So when you're writing your leads, or at least the automation like this, think of it as you're having a conversation and you want to accentuate certain words. So for example here, this note right here, I felt like at the end of it, it needed to be raised in volume because just listen. Because I felt like it kind of came down there for a little bit, but we came back up after that. So if I were to exaggerate this, but you don't have to. You have to do what sounds right to you. Let's go to another section here. For example, these two notes. This is a great example. These two notes lead up to these next ones. So these ones kind of act like as guided notes to the next one. So if I were to play it to you without, you can't tell a ton there, but these two notes are kind of low notes, just guiding us to the next one. So that's why I also love using it too. But if we go back to the first one we talked about, if I play you this phrase without this, there's a night and day difference. You can tell it's just really flat and static. Now, like I've said before, certain songs you won't want this, like out of like big room songs maybe, or like huge dance leads, you might not want this. But if we listen back to the original song once again, well, not once again, but for the first time, you can hear that the lead here is like a brass sound, probably from Contact. And it's not the same volume every time. Listen. And it's obvious when you talk about that with instruments. Like, you're like, no kidding, it's not the same volume. But why don't we think about it with synths? Well, generally, you might not want this with like a bass line, like a sub bass. You don't want your change in like a sub bass in a dance song. But I see no problem with it for like a lead sound, or definitely your drums in like breaks, or just other parts of your song. And one more thing, let's talk about where I have this in the chain. So I recommend putting your compressors, distortions, EQs before this, and then put your reverbs and delays and sidechain after it. Because I don't want this volume to mess up the compressor or any kind of distortion I'm doing, but this is just what I thought of doing for this example. So one more time, let's talk about what we did. And what we did here was we automated the gain or volume or whatever you want to call it of the lead sound to give it dynamics, because dynamics are what makes things sound real. When we sing, we don't talk with when we sing, we don't sing with the same volume all the time. We can use compressors to suppress, or not suppress, but we can use compressors to quiet the loud parts. But what we wanted to do here was we wanted to automate the volume of the sound on certain parts that aren't so as important, or to put even more importance on those parts. So for this one right here, we wanted to put an exclamation point on this note right here, so we raised the volume from what it was over here. And here it is without. So guys, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you kind of gained something from this, and you guys can implement this into your own songs. If you guys enjoyed the video, let me know down below. Head on over to my website, klingmusic.com, to download this project file and all of my other free downloads, courses, and sample packs. Guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.